Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now today's gonna be a quick video. We're gonna be talking about Nigeria and Ghana. Now, Nigeria and Ghana has been in the headlines. You know, some stories going viral, right? There's been some tension recently between Nigeria and Ghana, and coming to find out, it's simply been nothing but divide and conquer tactics. So, in summary, there was this old video going around. This old video of this Nigerian guy, an Igbo brother, who said that he wanted to establish a Igbo kingdom in Ghana or be the Igbo representative in Ghana or whatever. Now, keep in mind, this was an old video. Apparently, these videos were old, going back over a decade, but somehow they resurfaced and started going viral on social media. And then you had segments of Ghanaians that, rightfully so, took issue with that, because you cannot come onto, the sovereign territory of another black man and then talk about establishing sovereignty or kingship or rulership in his domain. That's a big no-no. You have to respect our brothers, right? Now, if you want to establish sovereignty, then you can, grab your sword, grab your rifle and do your thing. But if you're not going to do that, then just stay in your lane. But anyways, so these old videos started resurfacing for some reason. Some people believe that it was, social media manipulation to drive division and cause tension in West Africa in hopes of bloodshed and then foreign powers intervening in West Africa. And you already know. Now, also, this is off topic and I may do a video on this as well, but there was also a brother from Burkina Faso who was detained in Ivory Coast, and he ended up dying in mysterious circumstances, right? So all of this started happening around the same time. There's some people believe that there's some, nefarious, individuals behind the curtain trying to cause tension and division and bloodshed in West Africa and chaos in West Africa so they can intervene, and you already know. But anyway, so the government in Ghana has come out and condemned the xenophobia and calls on unity, cooperation, and brotherhood amongst our people, as they should. As an intelligent black man, shout out to President John Mahama, the president of Ghana, right? John Mahama, a man of intelligence, a man of sophistication, right? He's not a barbarian, right? He's not a xenophobe, right? John Mahama, a man of high class and elegance. Now, take a look up on the screen. The government of Ghana condemns anti-Nigerian protests and warns against incitement. Now, let's jump into some of these articles. The Minister of Foreign Affairs has revealed that the Igbo king, at the center of recent controversies, has abandoned plans to establish a kingdom in Ghana. A video of the king of Nigeria's Igbo ethnic community in Ghana resurfaced online, in which he spoke about his plans to build a kingdom. Now, time out. First of all, when I first heard this story a while back, it was strange to me, because if you know the history of the Igbo, those men don't really have a history of kingship and things like that. Those men were known to be, practice democracy and have a council of elders and things like that. So it was strange to me to hear talks of an Igbo king, because I thought the Igbos didn't even have kings. So once I first heard about it, I already knew it was some funny business. But anyway, let's continue. The video sparked fears of potential friction with Ghana's traditional authorities, as his position is not recognized under Ghanaian law. The government of Ghana has issued a warning against anti-Nigerian protests in the country, calling on citizens to reject divisive rhetoric and reaffirming its commitment to maintaining peaceful and historic ties with Nigeria. Now, time out. Round of applause once again for President John Mahama, a man of sophistication and intelligence. Yes, understanding that as black men, our internal divisions is an expressway ticket to our destruction, right? And John Mahama, realizing that, comes out and condemns any, ignorant barbarians that want to incite xenophobia and hatred against the brothers across the border. Hell no. Now, I don't think Ghana and Nigeria share a border, but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Anyway, let's continue. We must not repeat the mistakes of the past, he said. Ghana remains committed to Pan-Africanism as taught by our founder, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are one people, and artificial borders should never divide us. Oh man, the xenophobes took a big L today. Oh my God. You see, that's the difference between black men of sophistication and intelligence and elegance and knuckle dragging barbarians. That's the difference. We are not the same. There's black men of high caliber, and there's black men who are knuckle dragging barbarians. Now, the Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, I believe a lady by the name of Bianca Ojukwu, I believe that sounds like an Igbo name. I could be wrong, but as you can see, definitely, as you can see, she's a baddie, right? As you can see, brothers, as you can see, right? Yes, indeed. Now, Now, I believe her husband was like some Igbo warlord or some shit like that. I think her husband was like some big, Igbo chief back in the day, But anyway, so she came out and she made a statement. She said this: the only battle between Nigeria and Ghana is the Jollof battle. Right now, listen, I just want to give a shout out to the leaders in Ghana and Nigeria for getting in front of this story. Right, definitely, coming out and maintaining a united front. And I like to see that. There are some people who believe that we are better divided and spread apart and broken up and fragmented. There are genuinely some people who truly believe that we are stronger separated, right? But those of us who, are operating on a higher level mentally, we understand that our separation and our fragmentation and our division, like I said before, is an expressway ticket to our destruction. So I like the fact that the Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government has came out, condemned any tension, anybody spreading division, anybody causing tension between the two peoples, and coming out and saying, listen, we family. Forget all that nonsense y'all talking about. We family. And I believe that the Ghanaian Minister of Foreign Affairs also made a statement as well. Take a look up on the screen. He said, as I emphasized in the meeting, Ghana is exceptionally proud of its celebrated friendly foreign policy, which is welcoming of all to our beautiful and peaceful country, particularly Africans and people of African descent. We are determined to keep championing Pan-African identity, for which we have attained global renown. The government called onto the public to remain calm and avoid inflammatory or xenophobic rhetoric, reminding all of the strong and historic bonds between Ghana and Nigeria. Now, round of applause, man. Round of applause. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like I said, man, in a climate where we have nefarious, individuals behind the scenes, nefarious actors behind the scenes trying to foment division amongst our people, right? Listen, shout out to the leaders in Nigeria and Ghana for standing on Pan-African business, right? Standing on Pan-African business, right? Now, before I continue, I want to jump into the clip of the Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Miss Bianca, speaking on the situation, basically saying that it's no beef between Nigeria and Ghana. The only wars that we got is the Jollof wars. Now let's continue.
And of course, everybody knows, as I'm sure Honorable Minister has indicated, that we don't fight battles. The only battles we fight, as he also said, is the battle of the jollof. That is the appetite that we have.
And everybody
the jollof
knows
wars.
Jollof.
And everybody knows that Nigerian jollof is the best.
All right, we back. Now, going back to what I said earlier on how I believe that there's a coordinated effort to definitely cause some type of instability or chaos on the continent in order to justify the interference of foreign powers. Now, take a look up on the screen. A series of high-stakes provocations, misinformation campaigns, and violent incidents unfolding over the past 2 weeks suggests a deliberate effort to destabilize West Africa, with Ghana increasingly at the center. Uncovered by West Africa's weekly editor-in-chief, David Hundeyin, the disturbing pattern points to an extremely coordinated strategy aimed at fracturing fragile regional alliances and provoking tensions between neighboring states. The chain of events began on July 11, 2025, when Ukrainian President Zelensky tweeted that Ghana had entered into multiple defense agreements with Ukraine, including plans to purchase Ukrainian drones and deploy Ukrainian soldiers to secure Ghana's borders. The statement went viral, but it was entirely false. Ghana's government quickly debunked the claim, calling it untrue and inflammatory, and many saw it as an attempt to drive a wedge between Ghana and its Sahelian neighbors, particularly Burkina Faso, which has had a strained relationship with Ukraine in recent years. Now, time out. So recently, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, he came out on social media and he just came out and just made a false statement. He just came out and lied to the world, said, oh, we just signed a security agreement with Ghana. We're going to help Ghana secure their borders. Now, here's the thing. There's one thing wrong with that. Number one, it was false. There was no agreement signed, and the government of Ghana came out and debunked that and said the guy's he's telling stories. He just lying for no reason, right? And number two, Ukraine was implicated in providing logistics and intelligence and military supplies to the terrorists in Mali to launch a military attack that killed dozens of Malian soldiers, right? Because as you already know, Ukraine is currently engaged in a war against Russia, and as you already know, Russia is a strategic ally of the AES. So because the AES is diplomatically aligned with Russia, Ukraine also views the AES as an adversary. So they have been providing support to the terrorists in the region to kill our brothers in Mali as well as neighboring countries. And they justify this by saying that we are at war with Russia. So because you are aligned with Russia, we are justified in killing you too. And that's why last summer you saw these headlines coming out. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger accuse Ukraine of supporting terrorism in the Sahel. Mali cuts diplomatic ties with Ukraine, accusing it of aiding a rebel attack in the African country. The West African military governments write to the UN over Ukraine's alleged rebel support. So with Ukraine coming out, with the president of Ukraine coming out and saying that, oh, we just signed a military and security agreement with Ghana, right? That right there is divide and conquer, because you know that the current administration in Ghana that just came to power is very friendly with the AES, right? As you can see, take a look up on the screen, right? President John Mahama has a very good relationship with President General Assimi Goïta, right? Take a look up on the screen. President John Mahama has an excellent relationship with President Ibrahim Traoré. So for Zelensky to come out and make that false statement, the only reason he did that was to divide and conquer, to play divide and conquer. And at the same time, you have this old video from a decade ago of some random Nigerian Igbo guy talking about, I want to establish a kingdom in Ghana, you know, sparking tensions between the two nations, Ghana and Nigeria, right? And Ghana versus the AES, right? Causing instability. And then you have the recent story that came out of the brother from Burkina Faso. I believe his name was Alan Faso. He was detained in Ivory Coast under mysterious circumstances, and he mysteriously died. And now the government of Burkina Faso is demanding answers, right? And as we already know, the president of Burkina Faso, Mr. Alassane Ouattara, a Western stooge, right? We already know what time it is with him. So as you can see, a lot of, you know, random things happening in West Africa. As you can see, a game of divide and conquer is being played here. But I want to salute, once again, salute President John Mahama, the president of Ghana, of definitely clearing the air and letting it be known. No, Zelensky, he's lying. No, we don't got no problem with Nigeria. Those are our brothers. Stop it, right? Yes, stop it. I know, like I said before, there are some individuals who believe that we are stronger by being fragmented and spread apart and divided. But those of us, black men of high caliber intelligence, we understand that our unity is our only prosperity, right? Our division, our fragmentation, like I said, is an expressway ticket to our destruction. So like I said, man, divide and conquer is the name of the game that the adversary has been playing for many centuries. And it's really, you know, it's really a flawless tactic, but it doesn't work on those of us who are intelligent, right? Divide and conquer can only work on a black man who's a knuckle dragon barbarian. Divide and conquer cannot work on a black man who's of higher caliber intelligence. I'm sorry to tell you. But anyways, it's your boy Nefakari. That's Celine back in the Billy S&D. 21 Cannons, first track off the new project. Pin comment at the top, link in the description. Check it out and subscribe to the Patreon, NTD1814. And I'm gone. Peace.
Yeah, walk in the room and I stop all that talking. Stay on alert and I'm moving with caution. Feeling like baby, I'm up in New Orleans. Feeling like Stunner, feeling like Wheezy. Look at my nigga, my wrist is Fiji. Trying to get cash, I don't wanna be famous. Look at my nigga, my wrist contagious. Ain't no stopping when I get started. Ain't no stopping, gotta go harder. Drop that top, whip go brainless. Chasing that check, I ain't trying to be famous. Whipping that Benz, feeling like spaceships. Everything official, ain't no fake shit. Doors unlocked, community gated. Look at this ice, bet they gon' hate it. Look at my life, enemy fake. Then it's on sight, gun in your faces. Look at that love, turn to hatred. Kill my ops like a Haitian. Ain't no love, ain't no honor, ain't no trust, ain't no conscience. I ain't perfect, but I'm honest. Enemy lurking, enemy watching, enemy stalking, taking photos 24/7. Straight surveillance, new spot, change location. Shorty got wet off my cadence. But I got papers, ladies love me, and I got flavors. Ain't no love in these streets. Neg yo jaloux, yo méchant. Got them chains off my feet, by the sword and by the gun. They throw flowers at my feet, and they say that I'm the one, and they say that I'm the target. When they see me, they pay homage. Shorty talking about divesting, she with Malibu most wanted. When I go and get that check, I put it up and make it stack. Breaking that bank, whipping that Benz, but when I pull off, it go fast. Need a Fortune 5 accountant just to count up all this cash. Got these samples trying to sue me just to make me walk it back. Yeah, walk in the room and I stop all that talking. Stay on alert and I'm moving with caution. Feeling like baby, I'm up in New Orleans. Feeling like stunner, feeling like Weezy. Look at my nigga, my wrist is Fiji. Trying to get cash, I don't wanna be famous. Look at my nigga, my wrist contagious. Ain't no stopping when I get started. Ain't no stopping, gotta go harder. Drop that top, whip go brainless. Chasing that check, I ain't trying to be famous. Whipping that Benz, feeling like spaceships. Everything official, ain't no fake shit. Doors unlocked, community gated. Look at this ice, bet they gon' hate it. Look at my life, enemy vanquished. Jealous on sight, gun in your faces. Look at that love, turn to hatred. Kill my ops like a Haitian. Ain't no love, ain't no honor, ain't no trust, ain't no conscience. I ain't perfect, but I'm honest. Enemy lurking, enemy watching, enemy stalking, taking photos 24/7, straight surveillance. Hit a new spot, change location. Shorty got wet off my cadence. Just seen ice, but I got papers. Ladies love me, and I got flavors. Ain't no love in these streets. Nigga, jaloux, yo méchant.